Welcome people. On today's video, we're going to be talking about calendar blocking and how I use that within my business to streamline my content, my YouTube page, my Instagram page, and pretty much every other social media page that I have. Calendar blocking is just one way to be more proactive and actually focus on the tasks that you need to do. So just go ahead and stay tuned and watch what I'm doing. If you have any comments, my email address is in the description box below, as well as every other contact information. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment on my page below. And if you have any questions, let me know.
So let's jump right into this. First of all, this is my first talk through video, so I hope I did a good job. If you do like it, go ahead and just leave me a comment. So if you take a look, you can actually create a calendar through any one of your emails on Google. I'm using Google Calendar here, and then within that calendar you can create other calendars in that calendar. So what I do is create other what you'd call sub calendars and color coordinate them, so I'll have a visual representation of what my calendar is going to look like. So I'm building out the calendars I have now. The first one I created was YouTube. I'm going to change that later on in the video, because then I realized that I not only did YouTube videos, of course, I did other content for Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and pretty much everywhere else that I'm on social media, for my website and that kind of stuff. So I changed that from YouTube to actual content creation. You can add persons in on this calendar as well. So I added another email address that I had, so it will come up on that email address, so that the notifications, I'll be able to see them on both calendars, because I have one that's on one phone and one that's on my desktop, and so forth and so forth. I can also make some changes in here. You can change the length of your time slots. You can change the color. You can add other people in the calendar from the back end. So you can pretty much customize this calendar to function for you however you see fit. If you know that you have short meetings, like 15 minutes or 20-minute meetings, you can set it that every time you click in the space, it'll just give you that 20 minutes that you can just add something in. So I'm adding everything that I need here. So for me, I have promotional ventures, which is just pretty much the time I spend on YouTube and the things I spend reposting. That kind of stuff is what I call promotional ventures. I also have content creation, I have family time, and I have a time slot that I'm unavailable. And I'll go further on to explain to you what the unavailable slot is. So this is the calendar that I have. Now the first thing that you want to do, other than changing the colors to color coordinate your calendar, so you can look at it and say green means family, red means personal time and won't be able to change, orange is content, and I don't know, yellow is a to-do list, that kind of stuff. However you want to coordinate it, that's just how you're going to do it. For me, I'm using these colors. I'm very visual. I like bright colors. You look at my Instagram page, you can see that I'm always changing colors. I have a rainbow theme and I'm just loving and having fun with it. So the first thing you want to put in your calendar is you want to block out times that you know will never change. You have to sleep, you have to eat, you have to spend time with your family, you have to take lunch, you have to take some time, a break from your stresses. You have to go to the doctor every month because you're probably pregnant or not, or you have something dealing with, or you have a date night set every Tuesday with your hubby that you need to do. So you're going to set times that you know will never, forever, will always be that time. So this will obviously give you a time space between what you can work with. So I have bedtime at 11 o'clock. It doesn't mean that I always go to bed at 11. It just means that I try to do that most nights. And if I don't, then I adjust my days accordingly. Calendar blocking does not mean that it is set in stone. You're supposed to stick to it because it makes you more productive. But you can move things around in the time slot that you have available. I'm putting in dinner time because dinner time is important for me. I have 2 children and I need time to prep dinner. We cook dinner together. Yes, they're 6 and 8 and they help me prep dinner. We sit down and eat. We watch TV afterwards. We chat, have fun, laugh, that kind of thing. That's their time. That's family time. And or life is dinner, food, family centric where that is concerned, because my office is in the living room where the TV is, which is next to the kitchen. So we have that one little central space that we're always in. I block out the times that I actually have my 9 to 5. So I work from 6 a.m. in the mornings to 3 p.m. in the evening. And I block out that time because I want to ensure that my online business is given the time it's needed, and my daytime business is given the time that is needed. So when I'm blocked out for the day on my online business, I don't do any content creation during that time. And when I'm at work, I deal with my agents, my advisors, my boss, my customers at work the way they need to for that 9 hours that I'm at work. I'm going to start now putting in things that I need to do, but they're not set in stone. I can move them around a little bit, but I need the time space. So I need at least an hour to do social media interactions between 9 and 10 at night. Why 9 o'clock? On my Instagram, which I'm mostly using now, 9 o'clock is the time when most of my followers are online. So I go in at that time, I put a post out, I spend the next half an hour in that post ensuring that I'm interacting, answering comments, so obviously. I also block out time, so I need about 3 or 4 hours to do video editing, and I ensure that I do that on a Saturday after work. I just put on my makeup in the morning, work through the day, put a video up, put a camera up, and do what I need to. I block out church time, and this is also family time. I do that every 2 weeks because that's the time that my lifestyle and I have to do it. I do a church, what you'd call the Facebook, YouTube kind of thing. So my church that I go to actually has their service online, so I can do that during the weeks I don't get to go. But to physically go, I do that every 2 weeks. I also set a reminder to redo my calendar blocking at the end of each month to ensure that I have all that I need to do for the month to come. So Sundays and Mondays are my days off from my 9 to 5. So those are the days I do a lot of heavy content creation. Sundays, I really don't do a lot. So on Mondays, I really take the time to do all my content creation and ensure that I have things scheduled out for the week to come. I'm adding in exercise time here because I forgot to add that in. That's something that I do in the mornings. So when I touch base in the mornings, I take an hour because I'm working from home and it's virtual. I take an hour while I'm exercising and interacting with my staff, and I can just do that during that time. So on Monday, I do all my content creation with Canva, everything for thumbnails, everything for my YouTube mail, which is thumbnails, and I do the Instagram educational posts that I do Pinterest posts, I do everything in Canva during that time for that hour and a half. I then go into my Asana and dump all of this into my Asana, and I schedule them out as to what days they need to go to. I then meet with my clients as well, because then I want to find out from them what I need to do for them in terms of content creation or anything at all that they may have an issue with or concern. That's the time I use to service it. And after I meet with my client, I then meet with my team. And through that time, we'll talk about what's in Asana, what the client said, and the content I'm creating for that week. So that's how it goes. I'm adding her to this too. I'm adding Devreen, which is an assistant of mine. I'm adding her to a calendar that I have, a calendar meeting I have, because I want her to be in that meeting more than anybody else. So everybody knows this. I'll probably shoot them out an email or send them something afterward, but I just wanted to add her so you can see. Lunch is very flexible for me because I do intermittent fasting, so I put it there because I want to know it's there. I can move it around and shift things up and down. That's the whole beauty of calendar blocking. It's not that you're going to be sticking to one particular thing. It's that you have the time slot blocked out that you'll be able to do that particular thing. Understand what I'm saying? So after I've done my video shooting on Saturday, on Monday, after I'm pretty much done with my day, I take a couple hours break. I start video editing from about 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock thereabout to about 5 o'clock. So I take 2 hours and I do video editing. Sometimes it'll go longer, sometimes it won't. Right after I do my video editing, I'm scheduling for the next day after I finish working at 3 to go through my Asana board and update that I've edited these videos and move them to the next board. One of these days, I'll do a video about how my Asana board looks and how I function it for YouTube. And I learned this actually from another social media guru goddess. Her name is Vanessa Lau. I follow her and I really do take a lot of my advice from her in terms of how to manage multiple streams of content. I also have to schedule in some time every Sunday between 8 and 9 o'clock for an hour to run through my analytics for YouTube, Pinterest, my LinkedIn page, and my Instagram page. This is very important because that will determine for me what content I really need to be creating on Monday through Canva, especially for my Instagram. And I've always said this before, if you've not joined my community group on Facebook, go ahead and do so. It's called My Boss Life Academy. In my community group, I talk about the ability to have your social media business driven by the persons who are following you, because then you always keep them engaged, you always have high stats, and you always have people coming back and sharing your content because they're interested in what you're doing, because they're there for the right reason, and you're the reason why all this content is being created, and they appreciate that. So I'm adding tasks here that I have to do every week. So every week I have to do a shopping list for the shopper that buys things for my house, groceries and such. I got into shopping, having a shopper because of COVID-19. I didn't want to go out as often. And I also put in every 2 weeks my payday. This is how I run my entire life, my personal life. My 9 to 5 runs my personal life. So when I get my pay, I have to essentially go through and make a budget for my life, pay my bills, all that kind of stuff. So as you can see here, you can see now what my time slot pretty much looks like now that I have everything put in there. I'm putting in dinner prep because I didn't put that in and I need some time sometimes to take out the chicken, to thaw it out, or to decide what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it, that kind of stuff. Right, but you can see now the time I have left, the time I have available, the time that I can go out with a friend, take a lengthy phone call, take some sleep, all that stuff. You can see exactly where my time slot is. And you know, every single month I do calendar blocking. You know what it shows me? I think I'm a lot busier than I really am. It's all in my head. A lot of it is just wasted time. If you decide that you're going to take an hour today and you're going to run through your Instagram page and comment on everything that somebody commented on your page, and you decide to do that for an hour, you just have to dedicate yourself to do that for the hour. You're going to sit down for that hour, turn off all other distractions and notifications, and you ensure that you do it and get it done. I'm clicking through the calendars for you to see how they look like on individually, but this is exactly how I get all my things done for my online business. So by your side, I promise I will stay. But don't you ever try to make a fool.
I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope it was useful for you, and I hope there's a way that you can use that in your business and, you know, use it to essentially streamline your life. It's something that I think makes me more proactive, more productive, because I tend to have a lot of task bleeds. I have a lot of things that tend to just take up some time, or I say I'm going to take 2 minutes and do this while I'm in the middle of doing something else. And what multitasking that way does, it actually prevents you from completing any one task. So at the end of the day, when you have your to-do list and you look at it, you realize that you got so much things left to do that you have no idea how is it you're going to complete it by the time you're supposed to go to your bed at your bedtime. And I found that I needed to research for myself what I needed to do to ensure that I was more productive and more proactive in my business, and made sure that I didn't waste any time that I could be used to create more content or be dealing with my customers. So as a result of that, I tend to just go through and ensure that I had a list of things I needed to do, and that wasn't working as much as I wanted it to. So I decided to do some research, and I found calendar blocking, and that's where I realized that for me, I had leveled up the amount of things I got to do and the time I could cover things, and I was able to schedule in time for my personal time, my business, my family, and everything got covered in the time space that I was awake and alert and ready to do so. So I hope this video was helpful for you. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you in the next video.